everyone, I'm Sam.
And I'm Chris, and welcome back to Upgraded. Mate, this week we're going to gear up with Project Super Stang by installing a mantic twin plate clutch kit from the team at Clutch Industries.
This epic upgrade kit is perfect if you're adding bulk power to your engine and you need a clutch that's going to handle it. Are you ready?
Yeah mate, let's chuck the Super Stang on the hoist.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Remember, if you don't have the right tools or experience to work on your vehicle yourself, make sure that you head to your local mechanic or transmission specialist.
All right, so we've got a big day planned on the Super Stang. We're going to take the clutch out, but before we do that, we need to disconnect the battery because we have to remove the starter motor. I'll do that, we'll get up in the air, and we'll get a move on.
All right mate, so we've sprayed some CRC penetrate on all the bolts in the exhaust.
Yep. I've also sprayed the O2 sensor and the right-hand side cat as well.
So we drop out the Varex exhaust, we're going to push that back out of the way.
Yep, there's a whole assembly.
And then what, I just start cracking the gearbox bolts?
No. Wait. Tail shaft.
Okay.
We'll drain the gearbox while we're doing the tail shaft.
Yep.
I've got to remove the right-hand side cat. So one bolt gets done from underneath, the other one gets done from the top. Also, when the gearbox comes out, we need to rotate it. So the left-hand side O2 sensor is very close to the gearbox, so we don't want to break that, so we'll remove that as well. Hence why I sprayed that before with the CRC penetrate. Once that's all done, put the gearbox stand underneath, crack the bolts, remove the cross member, drop it down a little bit, get the two top bolts. All right, so Sam and I have just finished removing the gearbox. Now it's time to move on to the clutch. Got a series of 12mm bolts which we'll remove to remove the pressure plate, clutch plate off, then the flywheel, give it all a nice good clean, then we'll start assembling the mantic clutch. Now, we also need to give the gearbox a clean inside that bell housing to get rid of all the old brake dust, and we'll reinstall the new slave bearing as well. So today we're lucky enough to have a trade equipped transmission lift. What this has allowed us to do is to remove the gearbox and take all the weight of the gearbox without having to put too much load on Sam and I. It's going to come in real handy when we go to put the gearbox back in because we actually can adjust the angles of the gearbox to get our right angle to go back into the clutch. What it's also done is given me a platform to work from to remove all the clutch dust. As you can see, what we don't want to do is contaminate that new clutch. You spend all that money and time doing it, last thing you want to do is contaminate the clutch. So we're going to use some CRC brake and parts cleaner to give the bell housing a nice good clean to get rid of all those contaminants. When we finish, it should look like brand new. All right, so the bell housing is all nice and clean now. What we're going to do, we'll bench bleed the new slave to try and get rid of a bit of that air. So the only air we're going to have is in that first part of the brake tube. The problem with this is this system doesn't run a nipple to bleed it. So we're going to have to sit there and just pump it to try and reverse bleed it out the master. What we're going to do is grab a bit of vacuum hose, drop it into the Bendex brake fluid, and then just depress the bearing up and down a few times just to get all the air out. So essentially all we're going to have is this amount of air in it, so that way we can push it to get the air out of the system.
Mantic Track Twin and Triple, also known as the 9000 series. These are the 9-inch kit and they're designed with performance in mind. They take on the heat, the torque, the constant shifting, the clutch kicking, and the high revving performance that you want out of your car. At the same time, you can maintain that smooth pedal feel and beautiful clutch engagement. The 9000 Organic series, which we're putting into the car today, includes an aluminium billet cover assembly, which looks red hot, twin cushioned organic clutch plates, obviously two of those bad boys, a release bearing as well as a concentric slave cylinder, billet machined solid mass flywheel with bolts, and a clutch alignment tool just to make our lives a little bit easier. Alright, so after a little bit of cursing, a little bit of wiggling, we've managed to get the gearbox in, the tail shaft is in, everything's buttoned up, exhaust's back in, and it's now time to refill the gearbox. Now what we're putting in is a Castrol Syntrans, and for the Mustang, it's a 75 weight, and it's perfect for the Super Stang, as well as most manual transmission passenger cars. As with any oils, it's really important to check exactly how much to put into your vehicle. We've checked the Castrol website and we're going to be putting 2.6 litres of Syntrans into the Super Stang's gearbox. All that's left to do is for me to give Chris a hand. He's found a new use for the transmission jack, and he's cheating. He's got a 20 litre drum Repco oil pump, which he's using, and he needs a new bottle. The 20 litre drum's got this really cool hook on the top, which is perfect for the Super Stang because it allows us the opportunity to just hook it over to the side of the transmission.
Another bottle, mate. You want to go to
That's 2 litres.
We've actually got to bleed the clutch still. So we'll top the master cylinder up with some Bendix brake fluid because the brake master and the clutch master share the same reservoir. So we'll top it up and we'll give it a bleed. You know, I can actually see the clutch line now flexing as the pressure's going through. It just goes. Like that power of the clutch is just direct.
Yeah.
We're sitting in Sydney traffic and I expected this clutch to be really heavy under my left foot.
Yeah.
It's actually really, really nice. So like it's plenty of bite. It's picking up right off the floor.
And it's smooth, like I'm comfortable.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but it actually feels better than standard.
Yeah, right. Mate, the guys at Clutch Industries have done a great job. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Upgraded. The Mantic twin plate clutch kit is in, buttoned up.
Yeah, mate, I'm actually pleasantly surprised. I actually thought it was going to be really heavy on my left foot. It's not. It actually has heaps of bite and grip, and that power gets straight to the ground. I'm actually really pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, it's awesome. The job itself was relatively...
It's one of those things, isn't it? Like, we fitted an exhaust, we had to take it back out to do the clutch.
Yep.
You know, lots of things had to come out to put it in, but yeah, it went well.
Next week, we're going to be giving the Super Stang a top to tyre detail with the team from Turtle Wax. Keep up to date with the entire Upgraded build series by following us on Facebook and Instagram at Repco Australia. You can also hit up previous episodes on our YouTube channel. We'll catch you next week.
Bye, guys.